in 45 seconds, I'll give you both 45 seconds. Can you tell us who you are and what you do?
You can go first.
Me first. I'm Jonny Kirby. I'm the head coach and owner of Cheerforce Knights. I'm the head coach of Cheerforce Odyssey, and I've been doing cheer for about too long to mention on camera, but a long time. But Cheerforce Knights has been running for about 8 years now, so we're just going into our 8th season in September.
Awesome.
Cool. I'll do mine. So my name is Michael Cooper. I am a coach and a location director at Cheerforce Knights. I'm one of the head coaches of Cheerforce Odyssey and one of the coaches of Cheerforce Voyage. So I moved up to Carlisle to do the cheer business with Jonney as well. But at the minute, I'm also at university studying sports rehab. So I'm going to try and get that crossover between sports rehab and cheerleading, do like a specific jump link there and stuff. So just trying to remain as sporty as possible. Still competing on a world's team. So going to worlds as a 34-year-old athlete, it's going to be fun. My bones are going to break, but we'll see. All I can do is try.
You're not 34.
1986, I was born. Both of us.
Yeah. You're older though.
I'm older. I'm the oldest.
What moisturizer do you use? I might have to get some.
I was a little bit like, I'm nothing. I just wake up like this, you know.
It's not
have my
natural.
cup of tea and that's it. Just do it. So, because just before this, I was like, I need to shave my face before I see Charlie for JPad, and I was like, I'm just going to whip a razor around, sliced all my face, and I was like, okay, there it is. So I just took the skin off. That's how I stay young.
Brilliant. So how did you first, like both of you, how did you get into cheer?
So I did gymnastics for years when I was younger. Absolutely loved it. Went to kind of stopped just before I did like my GCSEs, went to uni, and then when I came back, I was like, I want to get back fit again. Missed doing like tumbles, stuff like that. I was like looking around for places to go. All the gymnastics clubs around didn't offer anything. There was no open sessions, nothing for adults. And then I saw an advert for cheer, and I was like, you know what, I'll give that a go. It's got the parts in there that I want to try, I want to do, which is the gymnastics. And then from there, I just fell in love.
What about you, Mike?
Mine's a very like JPad relevant story. So I'm from Nottingham, so lived in Nottingham for 30 years. And I was a fitness instructor at Nottingham Trent University. This is coming around to JPad, I promise. And I used to train one of the staff that worked there called Holly Boville. So there you go. So Holly said to me, oh, you train flexibility, you train this in your gym instructor environment, come and try cheerleading. So I actually went when Odyssey and Jonney were doing Camp Cheerforce. So it was when they had a lot of big name American athletes come over. So Jonney and I always laugh that my first cheer experience was with some of the best athletes in the world. And I was just running around like, oh, look at American Voice and look how pretty she is and look at those flips. So I got to train with like Jaden and Janae Cruz and Bianca and Joey and all like some big names from America and Holden, yeah. And I had no idea. And Holly was just a bit like, I think Holly asked me at the end of the first day and she was like, how do you feel? And I was like, oh, I've been bitten. And then since that, so from then I've done Odyssey. From Odyssey's first year, I've been on it like from the first year right up until now. So it's Holly Burble. And she's done some modeling for JPad. So there's your link.
There you go. There you go. You got the link in there. No, so you were literally stood in that session, just completely oblivious to who these guys were. And
Yep.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And my coaches at the time were obviously Jonney, but then Rachel Swinnerton from Cheerforce 10, who's recently done an interview with you guys. And Holly would just sit there and laugh because Rachel would come up to me and be a bit like, we're going to do jumps. And I'd do them and Rachel would be a bit like, we need to correct Michael's jumps. And I'm like, are they too high? Are they too good? Like, do I need to make them fall? And Rachel was like, there's just some other things we need to fix first. And now looking back, I'm like, they should have just kicked me out, honestly.
Love it. Love it. So like, as obviously the world has gone to pot, like how has that been for like Cheerforce Knights and Odyssey? Like how have you overcome it and moved forward, or tried to move forward and keep your athletes go.
Yeah, I'll talk a bit about Nights, and you can talk a bit about Odyssey. We obviously just before the first lockdown, we'd kind of had confirmation of our new gym, like we'd signed all the documents, so we're like fully ready to go. And the plan was we'll go to Worlds, come back, move into a new gym, start the new season there. That didn't happen so much. So we had the burden of a new gym to kind of set up and start at the same time as being in the middle of a crisis. So it gave us some free time, which was super helpful for that side of it. However, trying to keep the kids motivated and just trying to keep them active and give them some kind of routine so that they still knew that they had something to come back to. I think that was the hardest part. For us, we did all the things that everyone's been doing. We did Zoom classes. I think at one point I had 4 Zooms a day, Monday to Friday, and some on the weekend. And that's when we're like, oh, we'll only be away for a couple of weeks and we'll get back to it. And then slowly as it went on and the kids were having to be on Zoom all day for school as well, it became, right, the classes are here for you, we're here for you. There's not that pressure that you have to come on and do it, because for some of them, they just couldn't. Like, they'd be staring at screen all day. The idea of going and doing that again, it wasn't for them, and that's completely fine. So what we said was, we're here. So what we ended up doing was part virtual and part like putting all the information out so that they could train in their own time, and trying to create a program for them where it wasn't just come and condition. And we tried to mix it up and make it more interesting. So like different weeks, we had different things going on. We had we did like a mini camp Cheerforce, so we got some American athletes to come on and help take classes for us. We did like a really fun challenges week where we made them like try different new challenges, and that was hilarious. That was my favorite week, I think.
Yeah, that was a good one.
But trying to give them consistency, because even when we were back, it was new rules and the rules are changing every week. And then we went back into lockdown and out of lockdown and back in with different rules. Like it was
the unknown, wasn't it? And just like
for a lot of people struggling with not knowing when it was going to end, I think that was the hard part for them. So we were just making sure that we were there, giving them some kind of consistency, even whether they could take part in it or not.
Yeah. No, I suppose it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because you plan for stuff and then obviously you can't do it. And it's like, but you've got to stay positive at the same time, because you've got all these, like all your athletes, haven't you? So almost depending on you, haven't you? And
try to like keep them excited, because before we went into like this sort of the second lot of lockdowns, we were gearing up to competitions again, and that was exciting. And then when we had that second lockdown in November, I think a lot of the kids were like, "Oh, why our camp's going to go ahead? Why am I doing it? Like, I don't understand." So keeping them motivated, not on like something at the end, like a goal. So not keeping them motivated because we've got a competition, keeping them motivated on the journey and why they like it, and just keep them fit, keep them active, and making the journey what the reward was, rather than just that competition that you get to go to at the end of the year. Like we needed to make it more than just working towards one thing.
Yeah.
It was predominantly like communication more than anything else. So parents that we would see in the gym, who we'd get that face-to-face information and kind of keep them up to date with things and stuff. And it was hard maintaining relationships with the parents as well, you know, because we're not seeing them as often and we're not getting to like progress with them. And it was hard for us. Like Jonny said, we managed to open a new gym, and it's an impressive gym. It is lovely. I'm super biased. But at the same time, Jonny and I had managed to, as well as the cheerleading, I've got 120 gymnasts out of our gym. Jonny started, and a few coaches started free running. So it's almost like we've got all these like vacuum packed brand new things where we're like, yay, come and look at all our new presents. And then COVID happened and we're like, the new gym's barely been touched. Free running still got good people to it, but we're like, there's such a need for it in Carlisle that we're a bit like, we had all these nice new packages and they're still there, and they still have momentum. We're still feeding into them. So we're kind of, like Jonny said, we had free time, and there are some silver linings. Like we're going to come out of COVID with these packages still to offer, and they are like still fresh and new, even though Jonny and I have been sat on them now for, it's literally a year today, I think, since COVID. Yeah.
No, it was yesterday, wasn't it?
Yesterday. So we've been sat on these like nice new packages. So everyone's going to come back and be a bit like, how did you guys make this impressive thing? And we're like, we've had a year of kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, out of the gym, we have crossovers with our free runners wanting to try cheer and our gymnasts wanting to get into cheer and stuff. So we're just excited to get back in there and just kind
Super
of
excited
drop this big bomb and go boom.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
Oh, sorry, go on.
you've seen our old gym that we're on. It was a super old, super cold, like see your breath cold
Church
hall. Like,
Well, it was a church, wasn't it?
It used to be a church hall. Like, it was super old. We had pillars in the middle of the floor that we had to tumble around. Like, when we ran a full out, we had 2 holes in the middle of the floor that we had to choreograph around. And the kids haven't even got to enjoy the fact that we've got this brand new open space, like modern.
I saw the photos you posted when you got the keys, and I was like, oh, this is wicked. And then obviously everything happened, but that would be wicked going back to it though. And
I cannot wait.
Jonny and I. Sorry, go on.
Are you going to do a big like opening and go, come on kids, in you come?
Because some of them have been in, so we've had a good amount of them been in for the start of classes, and then we had to shut down again. So they've seen it, but we couldn't have people in because of all the restrictions and the rules of like, we had to run classes and stuff. So we're planning to have a big like open session, open day in the summer. Just like we'll have like a nice soft reopening and then have like a proper open day, proper get all the parents in, because the parents have literally only seen it from the door because the guidelines that we have to follow, that we don't have enough space for them to be in as well.
Yeah. I suppose, like, obviously you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but like from the business side of things, how has that been? Like, obviously you've got this brand new unit, like your landlord must be great for you, or have they worked alongside you and been really good?
Our current landlord has been phenomenal. They are absolutely incredible. They've done loads to help us out, make sure that we can do things when we can. So they've not expected us to be able to do everything up front. And they've given us the option, like, just wait, like, make sure that you're okay. And then when you're back, that's when we'll make sure everything gets paid and all that sort of stuff. But they've been second to none, absolutely the best.
We're thankful that we've got a great relationship with them. So they're from a company called Kingmore in Carlisle near us. And they, when we opened the gym, it's a huge warehouse. It was like a mechanic's car park garage before, and we completely gutted it, cleaned it. But they like painted it, fixed all leaks. We're really accommodating, getting sprung flooring down and it to fit the gap and stuff. And we're so grateful to them, but we know what it's been like for other teams and other businesses and stuff. So we're close with another team we have in Carlisle, and it's a really established club. And we had a beautiful relationship with them, but unfortunately they had to close because of this situation and other things going on. And we've just tried to be as accommodating with those. So like, your coaches come with us if they need to, or you come and still work with us. But we literally kiss the ground every time we get into the gym, and we're like, it's been so different for so many clubs that we're so grateful we had the help that we had. Like Jonny will sit here and like not get emotional, but he worked so hard like during COVID. So these kids are going to come back and be like, oh, a hoovered floor, like nice and clean. And we're like, blood, sweat, teeth, everything.
Yeah, I suppose it's like that across the board. Like you were saying, it is, everyone's become like a community, haven't they? And they have pulled together. Unfortunately, there have been some that have had to close because of it, but there are still others there that are helping those that are closing through that journey and making it as easy as possible during like a stressful time.
It's made us super grateful, but we already knew, like from seeing you guys at comps and speaking to other teams, because we have teams like Odyssey and Voyage that are like our cross-country teams, like we get our world's team where everyone comes into it and stuff. We're still super close to teams in Scotland, and then super close to teams in like Coventry and London and things like that, that we're like, it's so cool that we're part of like that sport and that community where it's just spread. Like, it's just such a nice, happy environment to be in. Like I say, we got so much support from other teams, other coaches, things like that as well. So we're just grateful.
Yeah, no, that's it. I think everyone is, aren't they? It has been lovely to see like the collaborations and the guest spotting and all that kind of. It has been great to see that all over social. But like, so you mentioned obviously you've got all these packages, and we're going to do a big reveal and big opening, but like what else have you got planned for the future as either Cheerforce Nights or Cheerforce Odyssey?
or
That you can reveal.
Shit.
So we've got because we kind of know that there's the option that we could do some competitions at the end of this season. We kind of made the decision that for our athletes to be mentally and physically where they need to be to feel confident on that floor, we're not going to do comps for the rest of the season. We're going to use it as a chance to literally start over, so to speak. For a lot of our athletes, especially some of our elite ones, they'll want to come in and they'll want to be able to just throw everything straight away. But yeah, but my ethos is that we always took the time to work on the level and work on the progressions before it. So when we come back, we don't expect anyone to be where they were, and I don't think they should either. And so we'll take the time to make sure that everything's done properly and safely so that they can build that confidence back up. Because confidence and being able to just do the skill, but confidence just being around other people and like being in that environment again is going to take time to get them back to where they were. So for us, instead of going, right, we're going to go straight back to comps, we're using April through till September to be like just a training period. So anyone who wants to come into the academy, there's spaces for them. There's like no set teams. So there's the opportunity to come train and learn and get that skill back and get that confidence back. Our Worlds teams, we're doing, so we've got Lady Nights and obviously going to Worlds, and then we've got Voyage, which we're setting up to hopefully be a Summit team. They're a non-tumble 3 team.
This is the first time we're telling Voyage. We're like, we wished this for you and now it's happening.
But they're specifically going to train up until their tryouts so that anyone who's super close to that level but hasn't had the chance to get the experience of it can come in and train and learn, or doesn't know if they're ready to fully commit to a Worlds team. They can come see what it's like, see the energy, see what their teams are like, and get to experience it without the stress of, I have to commit to a full year.
Well, yeah, this is it, because we know we're lucky enough to be like athletes and coaches. Like I'm still fully competing as a Worlds athlete, but then I'm still coaching the same team. And Jonny and I have done it before at Worlds, and it's tough. And the mental pressure is crazy. So we know that these athletes and these parents during COVID have been under so much like financial pressure and fitness and stuff. It's so hard to stay motivated that rather than rushing straight back into another comp, we were like, okay, let's take our foot off the gas, ease them in. And because we might have newer athletes coming in, and we're a bit like, let's not scare them off by going, you're a Worlds athlete, get on the floor, throw a full, do it now. We're a bit like, chill your beans. We are Michael and Jonny, here's this gym. It doesn't mean to say that our Worlds teams have been working like tirelessly. So Odyssey have to like film conditioning every day. I have to do it too. I have to do it after this meeting actually. But they've been putting the work in so that they've maintained that level. So we film conditioning. They send it to our other coach, Jamie. She's been unreal at keeping motivation up and mental strength up as well, as something we focus on. So the athletes that we need to kind of come back in and then roll into a slightly higher level than everyone else over COVID have worked every single day and prove that they've done the work as well. So on the Zooms and stuff. So we're trying to be as nice as possible to the athletes.
But we just know what's important at this stage. Like we know our kids, like we know where they're at, we know our athletes. We know for a lot of them, it's going to be weird coming back. And we know for a lot of them, they're not as confident as they were.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And like having that talk with them and having them understand that we don't expect you to be where you were. And that's okay as well. Like your starting point is where you start here, not where you were. And so really
looked at me, I was like, oh, thank you. So, coming in with my forward rolls just like that.
Making sure that that's our focus when we start. And then we've got a lot of plans of, we've got 2 other locations. Maryport just opened up recently. And the last season was supposed to be their first season, but again, they've not even had a chance to. They all got their uniforms, but no one's had a chance to wear them and perform in them or anything like that yet. So their next year is going to be even more special because they didn't get to experience it at all. We've got a Sunderland location, which is growing. We've got some new coaches who are wanting to go into there and help out with that location, which is super exciting. Our gymnastics program is absolutely fantastic, which is all Michael's doing. He's been growing it and making sure that it's phenomenal sessions, super engaging and inviting for anyone new coming in. I think your goal is to take and add an elite level to that as well moving forward.
Yeah, I grew around athletes, and I was like, it'll be lovely if they cross over to cheer, and then started the gymnastics program from 16 kids, and now I've got 129. Weirdly, I got a lot of help from Casablanca. So I messaged Carly and Jonney down there, and they were great because they run such a successful cheer gymnastics gym. I was like, if they're watching this, I was like, I want my gym to be like Casablanca, where I'm like, they've got such a good, successful, strong program, and the coaches never look stressed. And I'm like, how do they do it? And I'm like, right, I'm messaging Jonney and Carly now. And then they had a baby, and I was like, how do they do it? And I'm like, amazing. But yeah, so when you asked about kind of the future and what we're aiming towards, like, we have franchised out to 2 gyms, and they've been amazing. Like, the one in Maryport started off with 91 athletes, and we were just like, wait, what? And then we've managed to kind of get new kit and build them up quite quickly. And we're like, but yeah, I can't wait to see how it just, like I say, when that bomb drops, that they all just, fingers crossed, so that it all just keeps the momentum it's got.
That sounds wicked. There's gonna be Cheerforce nights everywhere. And
Yep. That's what I want.
You're like, Michael and Jonney look so chilling beneath from here down, we're like this.
It is going to be a crazy one though, and a great experience when it is all back, and everyone's just going to be like, rah!
Yeah, everyone's just going to appreciate it so much more. It's going to be so much more worth it.
Yeah, it's why we do it. Like, it's definitely why we do it.
Oh yes. Are you excited to get back to comp? Like,
I realize it's been over a year now since we've had a comp. Like, the last one we did was February.
But it's the time when we get to see people, like, we get to see those staff at comps, so like legacy VCA staff and stuff, when we're a bit like, oh, I've not seen that beautiful face for ages. And then when you see like JPAD, or you see like the paramedics that you always go and have like a bag of crisps with during your break and your routine and stuff, you'll know that we constantly, if we're working comps or something like that, or at comps, we're constantly hounding you guys and just having a laugh and stuff. So we're like, it is hard not seeing those faces that you used to seeing quite often. Like, really hard.
It is, yeah, because, well, when the season was at its fullest, we were with each other practically every weekend. Yeah. And for some time, that was the hardest thing for me, but like, that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
That's what I'm always super glad that we've done cheer for like creeping up on 10 years now. But cheer relationships seem to be those ones where you can not see each other for a lump of time, and then when you see each other again, it's like it's been yesterday. So I'm like, I know for a fact that those friendships weren't diminished. Like, they'll probably be elevated when we all see each other again. Basically, just be prepared that I'm going to run and jump and just grab. So that's it. That's a blanket warning to all of the teams, JPAD coaches. I'll be coming from the balconies, just jumping like onto people. That'll be it.
Love it. Be like a scene off Dirty Dancing, lift you in the air and everything.
As long as you catch me, yeah, it's fine. Jeez.
I'll get practicing now, just in case. But but like, obviously, you said you've been to Worlds and all that. What was like? How many times have you guys been to Worlds now?
Odyssey have competed twice, and then it was supposed to be their 3rd year last year, and it should have been ladies' first year last year as well. But I've been with Team England before that, and then I probably went 3 times, maybe more, just to go and watch, because the atmosphere is so electric. Like, every single day.
Say that. Like, what is it like?
It's pure energy. Like, it's just the most ridiculous atmosphere. And the teams are so talented. There's one thing seeing like the best teams in the world on a video. It's another thing seeing it in person, hearing the crowd. Like, I remember sitting watching, I'm going to talk about my favorite team, Senior Elite, but hearing the entire arena of thousands of people singing their song while they're performing it, I was like, that's just like goosebumps. Like, it's that energy that's just unreal.
Whereas I've been to Worlds twice, so I coached Odyssey for 1 year, and then I competed another. And competing on it is so different. So Johnny's like, oh, the grandeur and seeing it and stuff. And I was like, I could see this. Like, I was like, I stepped out onto the floor. I mean, I've competed. So I've competed at NCA in Texas, and I've competed at Worlds. So I've competed at the 2 biggest cheer comps in the world, like, debatably. And I can't remember them. Like, Johnny was like, the crowd were crazy, and there was like 1 billion people and the lights and stuff. And I'm like, Sure. I was like, I just remember holding like vomit here and a girl. And I was like, and then it was done. But then as soon as you step, because we were between like big American teams like backstage and stuff. And it was just all so surreal. But it was that thing of stepping off the mat, and I was like, I want to do it again. It was the greatest moment of my life. Wow, it was amazing. It was unreal.
I fully remember because the first year I competed and coached, and then the second year I just coached. And I remember my memory from competing is just, I remember walking to the front, turning around to do like a tumble towards the back, and seeing my team standing behind like that big Worlds logo, and like that's the memory that I remember. Like I remember seeing these kids, and some of the guys that I had with me, they were on Odyssey from the first season, and Odyssey made the decision that they're going to do level 3, then level 4, then and build up to that, going to Worlds, and not just jump into it. So it was seeing that hard work and that progression in like one flash moment, because like you don't see that when you're on the floor. But that I was like front and center, turned around to do a tumble to the back, and I could just see them all, and I was like, this I have to remember.
But we're big cheer nerds. So going to Worlds is like going to like Comic-Con. Like it's like going to a big cheer convention, and you're walking around, you're like celebrity. It's like seeing Superman and like Wonder Woman on the street and stuff. And we're like, oh my God, there's Ryan Cummings. Oh my God. And then I'm a bit like, I wonder if they feel like that when they see us like, there's Michael from Odyssey. And I'm like,
definitely. Yes, it's me.
That's why I walk around the conference when I see you guys. And I'm like this. I'm like,
hello.
It's you get there and you know that this is what you've worked for.
And everyone appreciates it because everyone there knows how hard it is to get there and how much work went into it.
They just don't know how hard it is to train in that sunshine. Oh Lord.
Yeah, that does look a bit of effort.
Like, are you guys planning to go over, or have you been before and stuff?
Yeah, so I'm planning to go over in the near future. I hope, anyway.
Do it.
I won't say too much on that because it hasn't been revealed yet. So.
Oh, look at you! You force our secrets out of us, and then you're holding on to some, you know.
That's what happens when you hold the strings, mate.
We're watching. We can see these new logos, and we can see this JPad getting bigger. And I'm like, I'm in that space. I'm watching it, you know.
No, it may start with an N and end in flicks. So we'll leave it there.
Okay. Nice.
But yeah, so that's the plan for the future.
Exciting.
But yeah, I just want to get out and about, traveling quite a bit. Like we're going to plan to do like a bit of a tour next year. So yeah, traveling the country in between competitions and making it a good one.
You'll always have a home with us. Come and see us. Come and see.
Oh, we will, mate. We will. Don't you worry about that. But, right, so I've got one more for you. For anybody that listens to this or watches it, if they're on YouTube, what would you say to someone that's feeling down at the minute, that's waiting to get back into cheer? What would you do to motivate them to pick them back up?
Me? It's hard because it's cheer specific. Being an athlete and a coach, I there's always that two worlds thing, and I'm a bit like, as a coach, I'm always like, we've missed you. Like we miss the relationships, we miss how much hard work we've all put in, and just that gratitude of how hard we've worked. And I'm like, yeah, as a coach, I could say that. As an athlete, and speaking for my own team, so speaking for Odyssey, without getting too emotional, we are a massive family. Like things have happened recently where we've just really appreciated each other. Like we had some bad news over COVID. We lost someone super special on our team. And we were already super close. But it really made us all be a bit like, we are so lucky to be in this sport. We're so lucky to all like be here and come in and work hard and be a family. So anyone from Odyssey who sees this, watches this, comments on it and stuff, they will be a bit like, it is past family. Like if there was something above that, like it is. So when we're trying to welcome in new athletes and stuff, I'm a bit like, just come and see it once. It's like Holly did for me, like on my first day. Yeah. Like it's weird. There's nothing negative, and it's so like uplifting, and you just train like to be mentally happy and physically better. That I'm just a bit like, it seems to just tick every box. But then our whole ethos at the minute that Jonny and I have just been spewing about is we're trying to cut off every bit of pressure. There's enough pressure and anxiety going around that we're like, you don't need it in a fun sport like cheer. We're like, just come and throw your body around, or come chuck a girl and stuff, and then come and laugh at your coaches when they try and do it at 34. We're just trying to build, again, that full package of let's try and flush out this anxiety and this pressure and just go back to having fun and being appreciative that we're all together again and stuff.
I just let them know, like, they're not alone. Like, it's super easy when you're not seeing people, when you're not seeing your friends every week, when you're not in your routine, and when you don't know when it's going to end, to feel really anxious about that. And like, that's normal. Like, not knowing what's going to happen is going to make you feel that way. And just know that if you reach out, I guarantee there's other people that are feeling that way. I guarantee there's other people that has been through that. And just, it's going to be weird coming back, but it's going to be weird for everyone. Like, you're not alone. Everyone's in the same position. Even though you felt like, and I know a lot of my athletes might feel the same, maybe you feel like you've been alone for so long that you don't know, you feel like no one else is going through it because you haven't had a chance to even see anyone to speak to them about it. But just knowing that you're not alone, no one's expecting you to be where you were. Like, no one's expecting you to instantly be that person that you were before lockdown. Like, you're allowed to have grown and allowed to change and come back and see what it's like and try and grow that confidence back up. But it is hard, and that's okay. Like, just knowing that it's okay.
Yeah, I think it's very true. It is just come back. You look very in deep thought there, Michael.
Do you know what? I was looking out the window and I was just thinking and stuff. No, it's only because it floods me when I'm a bit like, I obviously speak to a lot of people who we had before, and they're like, oh my God, like, I'm going to have to come back and throw my full. And I'm like, no, you're not. But I was like, you're not coming back as a complete rookie. I was like, you're coming back with so much knowledge and so much, like, you've been able to see where you got to. I was like, screw that. I was like, we can get past that. Like, come on. But then I've been getting approached by newer people for cheerleading specifically, when they're so like, COVID's made me want to get off my bum and do something fun and something that I've seen on like a Netflix show or something that I've seen a competition of because they're getting so big. And it's making new people appreciate the sport. So I'm like, Jonny and I, since starting Odyssey, have been a bit like, this sport needs more of a highlight on it. Like, it needs more of a spotlight on it. So we're getting approached by those people all the time, aren't we? Like,
it's really good.
Yeah, who are a bit like, instead of COVID knocking people back and making them lazy, we've had more people who are a bit like, no, I need to like seize life.
They need to get out a bit.
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
To be fair, but like, at this point, you've survived the worst. Like, you've made it this far, so you're already a winner. You've already won by getting to this point. Like, it's been hard, but you did it. Like, you got here, so let's keep going forward.
Yeah,
and that's why I was thinking so hard, and that's why the smoke was coming out, because I was like, it's easy for us to say like, oh yeah, athletes will come back, we'll take it easy, we'll build them back up. But there's a whole new wave of people who are about to experience like what I did on my first day of cheer, and I'm more excited to see those guys come in, because they're going to walk into the gym. It'll be like when you come and visit Carlisle and you're like, right, imagine the church, and then you walk in and see the new gym, and your mind's just going to go, what? Like, they'll see things that we take for granted. So they'll see like our world's banner that we got, and they'll be a bit like, oh, those banners are so pretty. And I'm like, yeah, we worked super hard for them. And then they'll see things like, but we even get it with new gymnasts when they're like, they've never been on a sprung floor before. And I'm like, there's a wave of new people that are going to experience all this stuff. And I'm like, I literally just cannot wait. Like, just come in, take it step by step, take the first step, and then that'll be it. They'll be hooked like I was.
Bet you can't wait. It is going to be amazing. But if anybody wanted to get in touch with you, how would they do it? How would they find you guys?
Email-wise, info@cfnights.co.uk. Otherwise, we're on Instagram and Facebook as Cheerforce Nights, Cheerforce Odyssey, and Cheerforce Voyage.
We've covered all bases. We have a Cheerforce Nights website. I'm just trying to think. And then we're always open. So we're a bit like, if you see us on Instagram and stuff, you see us tagged in like this, just message us private on Instagram. Like, we've got clean Instagrams, nothing to hide and stuff. So just come and find us. We're fine. We're everywhere.